Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Now, live from Chicago, the Hal Sparks radio program Mega Worldwide.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Hal Sparks, actor, comedian, and multimedia personality.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hal Sparks.
All right, let's do this.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. Johnny Million, how are you this fine weekend?
I'm doing great. How are you doing this fine morning?
I'm pretty good. I've got I held it together pretty well last night singing, so my speaking voice is not wiped out. I think that's a point of pride at this point. You've got
another show tonight, right?
Yes, I do. A nice big 90-minute long set of a mix of Hagar and David Lee Roth era songs in the same set. You're welcome. Yeah, it's a musical superpower.
So can I ask you, your top Hagar and your top Roth?
Roth is harder because there's more of them. Unchained, Somebody Get Me a Doctor, all those are really fun. I have to say, Ain't Talking About Love is wonderfully melancholy in that little breakdown moment, considering COVID. Like, I don't know why, but it just hits me in that way. You know, been to the edge, and there I've stood and looked down. I've lost a lot of friends there, baby, but it's time to look around. Like that,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It just hits you different, you know, when you stack a little life on top of it. It's nice. As far as Hagar, I enjoy me some Pound Cake. That's a fun one. That's a fun one to sing.
I'm not super familiar with all you wait ones too, except 5150.
5150, and we're going to do
Always One More, Never Satisfied.
Yes, which is a real hard song to sing timing wise. And then I'm getting into Dreams and How Do I Know This Is Love, because that we're gearing up for me to vocally sing those this fall.
Jesus,
so yeah, those are some notes, man. Those are some notes. I'm good. But anyways, that's a side story.
I've never heard Sammy sing those songs very well.
Well, I could do them. The question is, can I do them when I'm not just practicing on my own in the mid and put them in the middle of a set of a bunch of other songs that are sonically special? So we'll see. Anyways, it's super fun. It's super fun, and it's a joy to do, and it's nice to see people out seeing live shows again, and it's encouraging in that regard to see people and give them make them have a good time. It's lovely. So that's tonight, and then I have a stand-up show tomorrow night in Vegas at the Mint with our dear friend Richard Hunter. And
say hey to Richard for me.
I will. And Don Jameson from that metal show. He's going to be. We're all three doing a co-headlining set at the Mint tomorrow night. So I've got to drive back because I don't trust the airlines right now, because apparently Twin Falls, Idaho. It's weird, but a lot of these little red states that have 2 senators and yet fewer people in them than like Santa Monica, California. Those, you know what I mean? Those Irvine has more people in it than Idaho does, but the mayor of Irvine doesn't get 2 senators. What's up? Well, it's about landmass. It's surprising that those states, those red states, have kind of the I guess the most belabored and untrustworthy airports a lot of times. Yeah, we often hear about how the Republicans are always clamoring about Democrat-run cities and Democrat-run states, and they have all the crime and stuff. They also forget that we also have all the people, and therefore statistically, that we're going to have more of everything. Nope. We have all the coffee shops. We have more of the bowling alleys. That might be hard to believe, but it's true. We definitely have all the movie theaters. We have way more Forever 21s than they do. I'm just saying, on the scale of stuff, big cities with lots of people have more of a lot of stuff. Always. So they're like these big Democrat-run cities.
You just triggered my Scorpion's Tourette's.
Oh, yes. Big sweaty thighs. Right. Big sweaty thighs. Anyway, so there's a lot of news going on in the world that I want to talk about a little bit today. Not the least of which is right now in D.C. there is a pro-choice rally going on at outside on the grounds of the Washington Monument and all that kind of stuff. And interestingly enough, curiously enough, no one in the MAGA camp is decrying Nancy Pelosi's choice not to have the Capitol building or the Supreme Court surrounded by National Guard troops. You know why that is? It's because no one expects, and nor should they, the pro-choice ralliers to storm the place and beat police officers with a pro-choice flag.
Extinguishers and
right. Yeah. So, and this is happening all over the country. There's one in Atlanta they're showing on CNN right now. It is a day of action nationwide, and with good reason, because the fear is, and it is a reasonable one to have, that reverting back to the system that was in place before Roe will lead to a lot of unnecessary deaths and sterilizations of women, and quite frankly, the simple denying of the right of medical privacy to not just women but men in this country as well. And a lot of these folks just seem to forget that the clocks move forward, as do calendars, and that overlaying the life you've had to this point onto a time previous to a pivot point in history oftentimes is a fool's errand, wherein you will attribute...
How dare you criticize my good old days?
Well, that's exactly it. Those good old days were so good because you only heard about... I
was in charge. Look at me. I'm an old white guy.
That's right. Well, depends on which area. And quite frankly, I have to believe that in your household, no matter what time period it happened, you're not the... You're wearing the pants, but only because...
Have you been talking to my wife?
Yes. You're only wearing the pants in that household because you're expected to plow the driveway.
Pretty much. So
and that's all you get.
So glad you said driveway.
Yes, I try. So it is reassuring to our side of the aisle, I would say, to see these points of action. I do not think they will ebb at all during the summer, and that is as Republicans are counting on them to. And I think we will see increasing nervousness around the Republicans that this ruling will come out when they expect it to, which is around, I believe, June 6th. And this, I think that the greatest example of why this is a nightmare for Republicans is that they are not clamoring about the ruling itself, but the leak of it. That it is the information, the finding out about it, about the plan, that concerns them most. And that seems to be really consistent with the Republicans across the board. Yesterday I watched a video where Don Jr. is complaining about the funding behind the Senate primary challenger, Catherine Barnett in Pennsylvania, who is nipping at the heels of Mehmet Oz, who is going to lose, by the way. Whether he wins the primary, he will lose the general, and there's a very strong chance he will lose the primary as well, because what Trump, I think, forgets is that he's friends with Oprah, and according to 80% of Trump's MAGA followers, Oprah eats babies. So I don't know how you reconcile, you know what I mean?
How do you think she keeps her skin so smooth?
Well, exactly. Yeah. It's terrible. But I want to say that, his campaign is doomed. And their fear is that the fallback McCormick, which will be the guy that the establishment Republicans supposedly want and makes him evil, of course, is going to be so dented by Oz going after him and the MAGA crowd going after him that Barnett's going to get through and effectively be the highest running QAnon candidate in the country in the Republican Party as she's running for to be the senator.
Boy.
Oh yeah. And spoiler alert, she'll lose. Oz is going to lose against Fetterman. So is she. The the race there is theirs to lose, and they're doing it very well. Which brings me to Russia. So speaking of your race to lose, amazing news. We got to take a break. Amazing news coming out of Ukraine right now, relatively live over the last 6 to 8 hours, and we'll talk about it after the break. And then I want to talk a little bit about the China's gonna eat our lunch crowd on the Republican side, because they're getting increasingly adorable by the day. We'll be back. It's the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. Hi, chat room.